In studio, Speaker of the House, Dustin Burrows, joining us here. Welcome back to the Hub City, and you've got a big announcement for us.
Chad, I appreciate you having me on, and it's very good to be home. We're first opportunity to get to visit about this. It's about Charlie Kirk, the most profoundly decent person out there, who was out there on college campuses. Debating people, civil discourse, everything you could ever want in somebody trying to carry a message. Even if you disagreed with him, he would bring those people to the front of the line to have the conversation, have the debate, because he believed in what he believed in. I happen to agree with all of it, but but even if you didn't agree with him, he was so profoundly respectful and decent and did everything. And his assassination, his murder, is one of the most awful things that we have seen. And, our hearts go out to his family, to his close friends, to people that, inspired to turn their lives around because of him and were followers of his. And then we've watched over the last several days. There has been people, a lot of them on our college campuses, that are celebrating the death, that are tweeting and talking about it being a good thing. And it's the most ghoulish, awful thing that I could imagine. And there's something going on. There's a rot that I'm not comfortable with. And I know the lieutenant governor is not comfortable with. And so we both agreed to form committees in the House and the Senate respectively. We actually, about 10 minutes ago, put out our proclamations forming those two committees to take a look at political discourse, political bias, free speech, what's going on at our universities. And those committees are going to meet together jointly. We did this when the flooding happened, and we're doing this again, and that's very unique. That doesn't happen when both chambers come together, and it really underscores the significance of what this is. And we want to investigate. We want to leave no stone unturned. We want to talk and figure out what's going on and bring recommendations to us to make sure that all viewpoints can be represented. So people like Charlie Kirk can be on college campuses and be safe. And we make sure that we have an honest, open, fair dialogue that our country was built upon.
So, and just to kind of clarify for folks who are tuning in, they're hearing this, and those around the state who are listening to this and going, "Oh, you guys only want conservative viewpoints out there." This isn't about even those who are expressing viewpoint. It's about being a decent human being and allowing free speech for everybody. That's what this is really about.
It is. It's about allowing debate. You mean, men sharpen men like iron sharpens iron. I mean, you have to have debate and dissent and discussion. It is vital to what we do. It's vital to what we do in the Texas House. It is the culture I've tried to create for the Texas House. It's vital to society. It's what we are built upon. And the idea that a particular viewpoint, regardless of whether you agree with it or not, could somehow be shut down and not allowed to actually have full, fair, free discussion, or a particular ideology is somehow discriminated against, in a classroom type setting in higher education, which we have the oversight of. We fund it. They're state institutions, is unacceptable. And when we're seeing this play out and we're seeing this happen, especially in response to this good, God-loving, wonderful man, being murdered, it is something that I want us to take a serious, sober look at, find out what is going on and what we can do to make our institutions of higher ed better and have better free speech and more debate and discussion in a respectful manner.
What will this committee be doing? Will they be traveling to different college campuses? What are we going to see here?
So as of right now, we have basically, formed the committee. We have formed what the charges are. I've told you a lot about it. Campus security and safety for political debate is also part of it. We have named the memberships of the committees. And one of the things that I always believe as the House Speaker is I'm going to talk to the chairman, as Chairman Terry Wilson. He's also the chairman of higher education. Good man, very, very good man. He has military background. He understands a lot of the things, and he's fought to protect these freedoms for us. And we're going to have a long conversation early next week about where these hearings need to be, what it needs to do. And, this is probably not something that, he's going to come to an answer in a week. I don't think you can come to an answer in a week. Yeah. And these committee members are going to work hard in this interim to take a look at this, to ask the really tough questions, to go to the universities and talk to, some of the higher ups where they've had to fire some of these professors that we've seen very recently at Texas A&M and find out what is happening, what oversight. The other thing I'd highlight for you, Chad, is we've instituted some really great reforms in higher ed. 2023, we banned some of the DEI practices that were going on. 2025, we made sure the faculty senate's not actually running the place. And these are things that we have done. And so part of it's overseeing the implementation of this and finding out, what we may need to tackle in 2027 to get this right, because it's too important not to do so.
And I love this idea. I think it's a great idea that you are putting forward. I want to ask you, because we've also seen some high school teachers being fired as well. And that may be even more disturbing somehow than the professors on the university levels, when you're seeing not just high school, but just educators in public schools who have been fired. I saw one just today out of Klein, Klein that was let go because they were posting on social media praising the shooter in the death of Charlie Kirk. Is there anything the legislature could or should do about that front?
Absolutely. And this committee is not going to have restrictions on it. One of the things I'd point out is the chairman of public education, Brad Buckley, who did phenomenal this last session. Probably some of the biggest reforms and necessary reforms ever, is also on this committee that we created. And so, I think it feeds into it. I think that there is a real question about what is going on. And, I hope to get to the bottom and find as many answers and, more importantly, solutions that we can actually implement.
Yeah. Great to see you. How's everything going? How's it feel to be done with the session and the special sessions and just everything that went on?
Look, there's nothing happier than Austin in my rearview mirror. I love Lubbock. I've been here my entire life. It's a wonderful place. Happy to be home. We were there for 8 months. I think it was probably one of the most profoundly historic, great sessions there could be. I was privileged to get to preside over the chamber as we did this. But I will tell you that we're very happy to be home as well.
Yeah. And just real quick, congratulations to you. I know you had, was it last week now? This week's all blending together. I think it was last week where the governor came in, the lieutenant governor, got their endorsement for re-election as speaker. What does that mean to you to get their backing?
Look, for 8 months, we worked really well together. There was never a time that we didn't have a conversation, even if we did not agree on something, that we didn't continue to try to work through it in a respectful, good manner. And because of that, because we're all Republicans and we're all trying to get things done, I was very proud of the results. And obviously I was very humbled and honored that through those 8 months I earned their support. But I think it was because we worked so well together and we accomplished so much. And It wasn't about necessarily, just our good working relationship. It was about the results it yielded for all Texans.
Yeah, first time I can remember in a while that the big three not only got along, but had breakfast together and communicated for the entire session.
Chad, as I go around the state, and the speaker's job is really not over when the interim begins. There's a lot to do in the interim and a lot around the entire state. It's probably the one thing that I've heard the most. Republicans are happy that there's, some uniting, that we continue the conversation, that we work together, that whatever differences we may have found, that we worked through them. And even when we didn't finally get there, we did so in a respectful manner. And I'll tell you, that's the one thing I hear a lot, especially from the people who watch sessions, over and over again. It's the one comment I hear, over and over. And I was proud to be a part of it, proud of the working relationship with both of them. And I have a great deal of respect for the lieutenant governor and governor.
All right. Great job. Texas Speaker of the House, Dustin Burrows, appearing here on the Chad Hasty Show. Thank you very much for stopping by.
Thank you, Chad.